everyone came forth with clear understanding of the contrast that they were coming into, knowing that that contrast would produce within them new seeds of desire, which were essential for expansion and therefore essential for eternalness. And so that's why you decided, all of you, to come forth with enough variety and diversity to mix it up in order to cause those questions and those desires to be born. It is the most essential part of what we are all about as we are all in this together. Because in the process of exposure to contrast, your parents, as they welcomed you into this physical experience, had already been bumped around enough by their lack of alignment and their forgetting who they are, that they started off with you in that way. And this is the way that we really want you to hear it. They didn't mean to. They were well-meaning. But they convinced you little by little that your happiness depended upon pleasing them. So they began training you right away. So did your teachers. So does almost everyone who comes around you to some extent. Because most people have sort of lost their way and are living conditional love. It's what we were speaking to just now as we were beginning, which is, show me something that makes me feel good and then I'll feel good. But if I should see something that doesn't make me feel good, then I won't feel good. So only show me what makes me feel good. Which causes people to, because they're living this conditional love, they want love, they just think they need certain conditions in order to feel that way. It causes them to then need something they can never get. Control of what other people want, of what other people think, of what other people believe, of what other people are. They seem to need that control and they never get it. They keep looking for it, but they never find it. And we say it's because they're looking for love in all the wrong places. They're looking for it where it isn't instead of where it is. So you have to get that square in your head. It was sort of off on the wrong foot almost from the beginning because those around you convinced you. And we understand why. When someone, your mother or your father or your boyfriend or your lover or your child or your friend, when anybody, or a stranger, when anyone holds you as their object of attention and likes what they see, adores you, and so they're connected with source energy because in their appreciation they're on that high-flying disc and they're holding you as their object of attention. Oh, that feels so good. It feels like you want more of that until you begin to discover that you can't stand on your head in enough different ways to keep that consistently coming. So sometimes you say, I think I'll go forth and I think I'll be different enough that I will not conform. I will not be able to conform. There are all kinds of spirits coming in who are determined to be nonconformists in that way. I will not stand in perfection so that you can lazily, conditionally love me. Now, we're not asking you, any of you, to run around and be unlovable just to test people to their highest good. But we're also really not encouraging you to try to conform to please them because it makes them weak, you see. So that's really the crux of it. You have to realize that all of your joy comes from your alignment and everything else follows that. That's that feeling of sensation, that feeling of inspiration, that feeling of impulse. That's that feeling of alignment that we've been talking about. So the most important thing in no longer caring what anyone thinks is understanding that they don't know what they really think if they're not in tune with who they really are. Ooh. So those opinions don't count, those opinions don't count, those opinions don't count, those opinions don't count, those opinions. Don't you want to go to the highest source of opinion? We would. We do. We are. And so then someone hits you with something that feels unpleasant. And rather than, we've been saying, don't let your feelings be hurtable. Let your feelings be unhurtable. Well, that means you've got to be on the unhurtable disc, which means you've got to be on the disc of alignment. You've got to be on that high-flying place. You've got to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on with who you are. And then, even if something does occur, because it's a very diverse environment and you're moving around with a lot of people, and law of attraction is not going to bring you to a little cluster of people where there are only a handful. There are always going to be a lot of people around you. And those up closest to you, of course, are those that you're attracting with the strongest vibration. So something comes into your experience that doesn't feel all that good, but now you stand in your knowing and you acknowledge, hey, I don't hold this against you because you know not what you do. You don't know. You don't know, and it's not your fault in the sense that you're doing something wrong. We don't believe that anyone ever offers anything that is harmful or hurtful to another person deliberately. We think that they're swept up in a vibrational current that is causing inspiration that does not do who they really are justice. So if you were to find someone in the street bleeding, we know you'd do everything in your power to help them. We know you would. But when you find someone belligerent or uncaring or unkind or insensitive, you don't feel like helping him. You feel like getting away from them or kicking them to the curb. In other words, you don't feel kind toward them because in your attention to them, you've lost your connection and now they're controlling the disc you're on, you see. And we think that's the part that bothers you the most, is that it takes you from your alignment and you don't want to be taken from your alignment. You want your alignment to be so shored up and you just do it. A gathering like this is putting more of you in the place of doing that in your entire lifetime has provided you. Because you've sat in conscious awareness of the laws of the universe with the source within you pulsing in a stronger way than ever, and you've tuned to that frequency, and you will not slip from it without knowing that you've slipped from it, you see. Esther says people are well-meaning, and sometimes she says it through gritted teeth. Because she has discovered a new sensitivity in this last year that has never been there before, and people are pretty damn insensitive because they know not what they do. But it is not their job to know. It's not their job to feather Esther's nest. It's her job to feather her nest. Yeah? The most important thing that we want to say to you as a result of everything that we've been chewing on here. And it's the most important thing for us to convey and for you to receive before anything else is going to make any sense. And that is 100% of what anyone is experiencing is because their perception allows it. And it does not matter what other label you give it. Everyone has unique perspective. Now, we don't disagree that your perspectives tend to morph together as you talk to one another. But we really want you to hear us when we say, you are not in perfect vibrational alignment with any other's opinion or perception about anything. And if you would strive as an individual or as a mass consciousness to be more independent and care less about what they think, then you would have less split energy. You would be in alignment with your own creative power and with the energy that creates worlds. And you would experience the flowing of this energy toward the things that are important to you in such a way that the manifestations that would actualize around you would leave everyone wondering what you have discovered. And then as they seek to understand how it is that you flow with such ease and accuracy and precision, some of them may begin asking the questions that lead them to the same alignment. The paradox is this: you benefit one another in your exposure to each other. Because in your exposure to each other, new ideas, new desires, new expectations, as well as new beliefs are born from that. So the very vibrational basis that we're saying equals you, you garner from your exposure to others. But there comes a time in everyone's life where you have to acknowledge that while all of them have an opinion, and most of them up close to you have an opinion about you, just as you have an opinion about most of them, and especially those who are in the spotlight, your perspective equals your point of attraction, period, 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 period. And if humans could just get hold of that knowledge, if they could just understand, this is my point of attraction, and it is what it is because I've practiced it into place, and law of attraction will prove back to me what it is, and if I like it, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and if I don't like it, I'm going to change it in this way, and this way, and this way. And then it is our promise to you that you will live happily ever after amongst others who are either doing that or aren't. Everyone you know is the creator of their own reality. It's just that most of them are doing it by default. Most of them are flowing thoughts and words all over the place, practicing vibrations that they don't want to be their point of attraction, feeling uncomfortable, and then putting all kinds of labels so that people can get together in rooms and discuss whether it's this or whether it's that, when that really has nothing to do with them. Your point of attraction is easy to discern and easy to control and easy to orchestrate and easy to define and easy to improve and easy to validate the improvement, you see. And what anybody else is doing, who cares? You only want to control them when you are not using your vibrational currency to your own advantage, when you have developed some pattern of resistance so you're not letting it flow in. And as you're not letting it flow in, now it feels like you need to do something about it, you see. The intention that we hold is that you will reawaken to the wholeness that is you, and that you will invite that full version of you into every conversation that you have from this point forward in your life experience. It is our desire that you come not just to a remembering of who you are and why you've come into this experience, but to a discovery of those things that you had not even ever yet anticipated, because it is the eternal expansion that we are all about. You provide that for one another as you inhabit this planet. You provide opportunities for new desires to be born, and they are born all day, every day. And so this is not about helping you to goose up desires. You've already goosed it up. We've seen your vortex. This is about you finding somehow, some way to raise your normal frequency, not a spiking into alignment, but a holding steady of an alignment that is worthy of who you now are. You really are in a place where there is an opportunity for you to reach for new expectations. And not just to reach for them, but maybe to find them and hold them, maintain them, practice them, and come to own them, so that you will be in a practiced new vibrational place. It is our promise to you, our absolute expectation, that without exception, your point of attraction will have shifted enough that the entire world, including everyone you know, will respond to you differently. It will be obvious to you that you have done some good vibrational work.